And we're back with you, and we're going to welcome in studio our special guest, Chris Swift. He comes in here each and every week at this time, and he's here right now. He's with Swift Trading in Nashville.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.
So what are we going to do with this? This grain market is just, it doesn't know what it wants to do right now.
No, and everybody kind of probably waiting out till the 12th to see what the WASDE report's going to be, and I'm not real sure there'll be a whole lot in that because we don't have any grain harvesting
I'm glad
yet.
you brought that up because that is coming up Thursday. That'll be coming out at, noon
Yeah,
Eastern
11
time?
o'clock, yeah,
And
noon
11
Eastern.
Central, where the trading floor is. So I guess traditionally, is September much of a market-moving report? I know this is an odd year. It's going to be unusual this year, but
It can sometimes if you got early corn planted, where you would get an early harvest and there would be some actual yield data, but it doesn't look like any early corn was planted, so all I've ever heard is chopping silage right now, but very little corn has been shelled.
at least when you get into the core of the corn belt anyway.
Yes, yes.
I know there's some around here, but
it'll still be several weeks before we get to it.
Exactly.
Progress report keeps showing us 4 to 6 weeks behind in every category.
Yeah, and I was totally shocked when I went up to the Farm Progress Show, a few weeks ago, and it's like once you cross that Ohio River, I call that the line of demarcation,
Right.
because you go across that, and on the north side, it's like a whole different universe.
Oh, it
the
is.
crop is so far behind.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at prices
Sure.
and see what things are doing right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at corn. Right now, the corn is a little weak in the knees here. We're close to the low of the day. We're down 2 3/4 on December. We're at 352 3/4 right now, just a couple of ticks away from our low of the day. And if you look at our soybean trade so far, you have November now trading 2.5 lower there at 855 1/4. 1 tick from its low of the day. We're about a nickel off of our overnight high in that November contract. Meanwhile, when you take a look at our wheat trade, let's go to Chicago first of all and see what's going on. Right now in the Chicago wheat, we have the December contract just fractionally lower. We're down 3/4 cent, and we're trading at 4.63 per bushel. Let's move on to Kansas City wheat and see what it's doing. Currently, you have your Kansas City December. That one is seeing a lot of pressure all of a sudden, down 6.5 cents now at 3.86 3/4. And December Minneapolis wheat is down 1 3/4, and that one is trading at 4.92.5. They're kind of picking on Kansas City wheat here. That's kind of interesting. Now, that one is more closely tied to the corn. Is that right?
That is true. And we have seen for years Kansas City wheat carry a little bit of a premium to Chicago, and it'll narrow down pretty narrow and then widen back out again. But now we've gone Kansas under Chicago by 40, 50 cents. And everybody's scratching their head kind of wondering why. And I don't know the reason either, other than there's just a lot of hard red winter wheat out there to still market.
And we did have a sale of 651,000 tons of corn in Mexico this morning, and yet we're showing corn down a couple of pennies. So it's kind of back to the old thing we've had all year long, where you have good overnight export news and the market will go the other way.
Yep.
So anyway, that's the grain side. We'll come back in a moment, and we will take a look at what's going on in our livestock segment when we come back. Chris Swift is our guest. He's in studio with us right now. He's with Swift Trading here in Nashville. As we take a look here at our livestock trade, a little weaker tone, a little follow-through weakness, you think, from Friday?
Yep.
You blame it on that?
I'd think so.
Okay, let's go see what's up. Let's take a look, or not up. Live cattle right now. You have October down 63 at 94.25 right now. However, keep in mind that was down the $3 limit on Friday, so down 63. Do you call that a minor victory, or
It's a little better, but at least it's not limit down today.
Okay, December down 53 at 99.22, so still under $100. And February now down 38, but it's at 106.03. Now on the feeder cattle side, this one showed more resilience, if you will, even though it was lower Friday. It's kind of showing similar action to what we had at the end of the week. We have October feeders down $1.28. We're now at 129.63, and that is now, excuse me, about $1 and a nickel off our early high of the day. November up, down $1.20 at 129.18. Odd once again, Chris, where you have corn lower and feeder cattle lower. Again,
Right.
It tends to do that quite a bit now.
It does, but we're not, our break-evens between fat cattle and feeder cattle are so out of line that the cost of feed is a smaller impact to it. We still have seen elevated feeder cattle prices on the cash side. We're running a big, wide $8, $9, $10 basis, sometimes positive basis in the feeder market. and new contract lows in the fat market. So it's there's a lot of topsy-turvy in that market right now, and it'll take weeks before it all starts to settle out.
So are the fat cattle producers making a profit, or are they losing money now?
From what I saw on Friday's cattle range, they were losing approximately $250 a head on cattle sold this week. Yeah.
My word, what are the packers making?
Well, I've heard some over $300 and $400 is what I've heard.
So we still have that disparity going on.
There's a wide disparity going on right now, and I don't really want to get into it too awful much, but it is we have a lot of supply that we have to move through, and we have excellent demand, but we have greater supplies than we do demand.
Wow, fascinating. Okay, let's look at lean hogs.
Okay.
We found more African swine fever apparently since last week in the Philippines this time. Several cases of it from what I hear, and October lean hogs are up 95 cents at 64.45, but that's it. We had the middle 3 months last Friday were the limit down $3 lower, but now we have December down just 40, February down 38. The far out deferreds were a little higher. Mixed bag going on there.
Yeah,
What's that about?
Thursday and Friday, a lot of it was the hurricane that came through. So we know that North Carolina and South Carolina both have large hog production. So that could have had some impact to it there. But again, we're still looking at very high hog levels right now. So
all right. Well, thank you for coming in. It's good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
Chris Swift Trading Incorporated in Nashville. There you go, John.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. Chris, always good to have you here with us.
Absolutely, John.
Yep.